You. Hey, Sagittarius. We're getting your cards all set up, and we're going to do your May 2024 intuitive tarot readings. Happy to be here with you. Can you see my face? Probably not. Oh, hello. I'm MJ. I'm the founder of Ultra Love. If you're new here, welcome. We do monthly readings. I do the daily readings. I have a TikTok account, and I put stuff out on Instagram. Sometimes Instagram and YouTube crossover. There is a Facebook account. I'm not very active on Facebook though, so I just, you know how you do that. You feed it into your Facebook. Anyway, here we are. Feel free to check out the website. That's where I share the monthly updates, where I do weekly yoga classes. I do one-to-one, a lot of one-to-one online work with the yoga, breathwork, meditation, and EFT, and of course the tarot readings, which are super fun. Nice way to get to know you guys. My intention with tarot is to offer you divine guidance and loving clarity. Divine guidance and loving clarity. This is for Sagittarius. Sagittarius, divine guidance and loving clarity. Ooh, Saggy, we've got a lovely start with a 3 of Swords. Some heartbreak energy here. Letting go. I just got like little tingles all around. So there is significant release happening here, Sagittarius. It could even be a lot of inner work, shadow work, or just some letting go. There's a double 8. I mean, this is sort of telling me you've already let go of a lot. You've already released a lot. You've probably walked away, and you're like getting your head down, working on things. And yet the central energy is that there's this heart healing happening. There's a wounded heart energy, more than likely to do with love. I am getting in the more recent past, there might have been a movement toward taking an opportunity for a romantic offer of sorts that just didn't quite work out how you thought. You are working hard, so the pentacles are coming in. There's just a melancholy here, no doubt. If we're grieving, if we've been hurt, let's get some advice here for this energy. You're likely to receive a message to move you forward out of a hanged man energy. You might want to just pause though before you move toward another offer. But the Page of Cups is like a deliverance, a message, maybe an apology, actually. I'm hearing though, interestingly, like, don't wait. Keep moving forward, basically. Trust in and when we're being guided, when we're moving intuitively through the world, there is a sense of at times knowing that if you're not being guided to move forward, that's the guidance, to just wait, to just let yourself be in hanged man. And yet there's just the Chariot in this regard, the guidance is like a very gentle moving forward. Next to the Hangman, like, be patient, trust in your guidance, and you're likely to receive a message that feels very much like somebody reaching out, maybe an apology, maybe the Chariot and Hangman with that three of Sword. I do get a sense that there's no going back from this point. Like, it's not like you're going to go back into a situation that was really painful, but there's some opportunity for making amends. There's an opportunity maybe for healing. And maybe you had to walk away from something. Maybe you just couldn't move forward for whatever reason. And I'm hearing like you broke your own heart just by, I mean, okay, the reality, maybe we're like dealing with workaholism and we couldn't walk away from work. And the other person was like, well, if you're going to work all the time, I think I'll move in and, go a different way, kind of thing. And that's been very painful. Right. So especially with general readings, we can kind of flip reverse it, and it might be you reaching out for you to feel like you can move forward in your integrity with a sense of clarity. You might be the one that's like, you know what, I just want to apologize to this person, or I just want to make amends. That feels actually pretty clear around somebody dealing with having to work all the time, not being able to walk away from a work situation or working paradigm. So this is a beautiful time, Sag, for some self-love, self-care. I always see the Lover's energy as like a unification of self with as one with other. So even the people that did us dirty, or all the people from all our past, us and our higher self, us and our lower self, you know, like us and the divine, us and the earth plane, like there's just a total unification, knowing that in that mutual, in that self-respect, in that self-love, we find more love and compassion for other, and we open ourselves to move forward for greater balance and unity and reciprocity in our relationships as well. But if some of you are resonating with like not being able to break free from a work thing, or like just always prioritizing work or attracting people that do that, the Chariot and the Hangman with the Lovers is giving me that sense of like, this is a beautiful time for you to move forward, knowing that you're worth it, knowing that you deserve the love. And you also deserve to be on your own if that's what you're choosing as the best option for you right now. If you can't commit, if you're not ready for that, whether it's you making the commitment or whether it's somebody committing to you, there's a deeper commitment that you're making to your own fulfillment, your own love. Of course, this card very much is symbolic, though, of feeling into that sort of trinity of self-love, knowing that there's always a counterpart, knowing that there's reflection and integrity in those people that come into our lives, and that when we end up heartbroken, when we're in these grief-oriented cycles of life, that there is healing that we probably don't quite understand mentally. And in fact, I personally find it much easier to practice the art of like detachment and not over fixating on thought form, but rather feeling and breathing through it, knowing that there's an alchemical process taking place that, again, depending on a point of attraction, ideally will usher us into a greater resilience, strength, and I love this expression, I use it all the time, integrated wisdom. So we embody that wisdom. It's like we gently remove these swords and let our heart heal so that we're whole again, with not being all badgered up, right? Oh, big energies for you here, Sagittarius. A lot of healing, and then there's a lot of movement forward, but no doubt there's probably, again, like juicy wisdom and nugget pearls of wisdom and gems. Like it's like finding treasure underground. Underground is dark and wet, and there's like, you know, creepy crawly creatures under there, and yet if we find a treasure, it is worth the darkness, it's worth the kind of ickiness, you know. Divine guidance and living clarity. Just see if there's some additional layers to the story, and finding more messages that are divine, that are spiritually guided. So this isn't necessarily a time for you to just step into a brand new beginning, Sagittarius. And for some of you, I actually get that feeling that that might be a bit of a pattern. If this is some sort of subtle or not so subtle, but if this is a sort of sabotaging pattern that you find yourself in, might be part of you that just wants to like try to jump into a new beginning. It's not looking like that's the best direction for you. Yeah, you've got to, we've got to heal and close down this pattern essentially. Um, so hence, if it's you making amends or you gently guiding yourself forward, healing your heart, right? Being patient with that healing process. It might be that you receive a message of somebody making amends. I'm sorry, for working too hard. I have, these commitment issues, or whether it's you reaching out to somebody else. There's a healing that wants to occur that's bringing you into a greater wholeness. So not to rush into a new beginning. Be patient. Be patient. There's such an energy, and it's coming through a lot of the readings, like being grounded. What does that feel like? Being relaxed, being calm. It's such a thing. Like the more I really reflect on this, like Shavasana yoga at the end of the practice is the final position. It's the ultimate relaxation state. It's like dying to the illusion. So we're not being dictated to by the external world. We're actually being reborn from within, like essentially like a rebirth process just every time we practice Shavasana. And then even from a medical point of view, it's like, I remind myself when I was little, I go to the doctor with a bit of a cold or something. More often than not, the doctor just be like, she needs to rest. She needs a day off school. She needs, you know, so if sleep and rest is the body's optimal state of being, we also tend to avoid injury. We're less likely to hurt ourselves if we have a fall or if our body's relaxed. So relaxation is the optimal state of being, both body and mind. And it's where the body regenerates itself. It's where the mind can come into a kind of broader perspective and an openness. So from a very basic observation, it's like we are, as a populace, as a humanity, we are stressed out. We're traumatized, we're stressed, and we're just kind of running around in circles, repeating all these horrible patterns on the macro micro. And to me, yes, indeed, it is all connected. Our personal trauma is connected to the trauma of the world, or our personal struggles and challenges and addictions are connected to the same, mundane, or the kind of larger landscape of the kind of socio-political arena, as it were. And all of it, I think, is really asking of us to slow down, to calm down, to allow these healing energies to occur. And often we can't do that if we're just jumping into it's like that classic thing of when you've been heartbroken, and sometimes I've had this experience. We'll have people around us being like, get on a dating app, like just get over it, get out there, get dating again. And just personally, like, and it happened when I was already at a time in my life where I knew that wasn't going to solve anything. Just going on a dating app and going on a date or isn't gonna just miraculously change this process, because it is a process. When you've gone through heartache and heartbreak and pain, it's like all these connections just go away, or like all this. If you feel empty, you feel like a shell of yourself, and you're just having to move through the reality, coping with this extraordinary heartache. And then, I think anyone who's been through it would just say, eventually, in time, months, years, maybe, and I'm not, I just don't feel the need to like brush over this stuff or to try to make it like a quick fix, because I think that's just a dominant worldview that doesn't work. The body wants to heal and regenerate and process something profound. And again, like that thing of when it heals properly, it will be stronger. I know that from teaching yoga a long time. When we have a major injury and we focus on healing that injury, more often than not, that part of us that was injured comes back stronger than the other side, or will be more flexible than it was before. Like, so there's something in that, as far as like the pain and the suffering we endure in these bodies, in this life form, is part of what makes us. And it sucks when we're going through it. I'm not, it's not. It just does. It just I don't I think we really try hard to be like, don't worry, or yeah, eek, ouch, it hurts. And yet we also are beginning we're acknowledging on all the levels as well that repressing these emotions, denying them, suppressing them, deflecting them, projecting them, it doesn't work as far as the true healing that occurs through presence and allowing the body to alchemically, i.e., through tears, through all the different emotions, to feel it, to feel the neglect that you've been harboring, to feel the guilt, the shame, the pain, basically, on whatever level. And again, if we just rush into the next, it's really hard to truly be reborn, right? This is all patience energy. So I'm going to pull some final layers for you, Sagittarius. So there is just no rushing this process, sorry to say. And I know some of you are going to be like, damn it, this is not what I really want to hear. But I do actually feel like on that kind of holistic side of things is important. If you rush through it, you could end up kind of destabilizing the garden that you've been tending to. As in, you plant a seed knowing that the seed's going to sprout. But if you plant a seed and just sit there, wait, and get really freaking impatient, and then start digging around, figuring out where did the seed go? Why isn't it right? You just destroy it. It's right there. It's right about to burst through. Hence the like, let this cycle complete itself. There again, you will be guided, and or the prompt of the message that you need to come in to make amends will come through to kind of clear the energy so that when you feel that readiness to move forward, it's super dupes authentic and real. Some of you might be in a bit of a kind of work wise. I'm feeling here it's kind of connected with the rest of the reading around just be patient here. You're in a bit of a maze, possibly work wise. And it's kind of encouraging you to just be gentle with yourself and stay optimistic, and again, know that as this regenerative process is occurring, that you will get to that point where you'll be ready to move forward. You'll want to move forward. You'll feel called to move forward. You'll feel called to go do something or apply for a new job or break free from a certain dynamic that you just feel you're not being valued, right? Like, no, you're naturally optimistic, Sagittarius. It's not hard for you. So maintain that steady optimism. Just slow down and be willing to maybe cut out the desire to just jump into something new right away. Like, sit with stuff a little longer than maybe what you're used to, because you will be guided. There is new energy. You are being guided into these new energies, but this is big test time, right? Like, just trust life, man. Just something about like, just be soft on the superficial, like just butter yourself up for a bit rather than having to go do some heavy lifting or jump into something new because what you're sitting with is uncomfortable, or because just being patient is uncomfortable for you. That was weird. I just literally got a feeling if that message was really specific for one person. Messages, Mercury and cultivate. Yeah, even maybe writing messages. There's something here about being calm and centered and still enough to either receive the inner messages, let the messages come to you, and or deliver messages. Don't be afraid to communicate these messages. There's something about here too, the restedness, the slow back, the not jumping into new things right away is also part of you being able to cultivate the new vision. You've had enough and are going through enough to allow yourself enough spaciousness to just allow the vision to come through. If we're rushing around all the time and super distracted, we're not aligning with a vision. We're just defaulting into patterns. So there's a profound heart healing taking place that just wants you to feel it all, which I know is probably the most annoying thing ever. But there is gold, there are treasures and gems within it that are going to rise you up into a greater sense of self, a stronger heart, a greater sense of resilience, a greater sense of unity with yourself, more self-respect, more self-love, to then be guided forward in a much sturdier, steadier way, whilst always holding that sense of vision in your mind as you're moving forward. Even when you think you're not moving forward, you are. Yeah, I'm just like, just sit and then trust life will show you, the vision will come in, and or it will show you to move through. Avoid that temptation to default into just jumping into something new right away. Okie dokie, Sagittarius, there is your reading for the month of May. I hope that you enjoyed that. Let me know if it resonates with any of you. Maybe that one little message was for somebody who's catching it. And again, Patreons get ad-free first access. They usually get little intuitive updates, monthly yoga sessions, or just like yeah, little shares that I feel like sharing from the heart. And otherwise, oh yeah, and the Patreon, top tier patrons get discounts on having one-to-one sessions with me as well. Okie dokie. There it is, Sagittarius. Have a great month of May, and I will see you next time. Take care.